Hey, Chandler Bolt here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to create a company org chart. Now, a company org chart can be kind of a confusing thing, but necessary thing, especially when you're first getting started. Now, there's two big problems I see with company org charts. Number one, small companies don't have them, so they don't know who's doing what. So if that's you, you need to watch this video, and I'm gonna walk you through how to create your first org chart. But then number two, they're just static things on a piece of paper that most companies don't keep updated. So they're almost old the day that you get them done, right? So you continually grow, and this is something that's old and is not used. So you need to make sure that you keep it current as you grow. So when it comes to creating an org chart, it's a little bit tough to describe because depending on where your company's at, you might be at 5 people, you might be at 50 people, you might be at 500 people, and those org charts are gonna look completely different. You might be in a manufacturing industry and your org chart's gonna look different. You might be in an agency and your org chart's gonna look different. You might be in a product or software company and your org chart's gonna look different. So what I'm gonna try to do in this video is kind of break down some overarching principles, and then you'll be able to take that and customize it for yourself. So first things first, let's look at just the big picture things. What happens in any company? Well, number one, you sell something. Number two, you fulfill something. So in service-based businesses, it's the fulfillment. In product-based business, it's the creation of the product and then also the fulfillment. So maybe that's off in operations. And then number three, you have to have accounting or counting what's happening, right? So that's the finance and maybe a little bit of operations, bookkeeping, things like that. So you have these three basic functions. You've got sales, you've got fulfillment, and then you've got counting. So making sure that the records are up to date, things like that. So really when you're looking at the big buckets, and I'm gonna give you an example of what we use at Self-Publishing School, but really when you're looking at the big buckets, you've got a sales and marketing team, maybe those are separate org charts. You've got operations, maybe also operations, student success or customer success, and then product fulfillment, and then you have finance. So these are kind of the big picture things that you're gonna have here. Now, two really helpful resources with this org chart concept are the book Traction and the book Scaling Up. So these are really my two business Bibles. And one of the things that I learned from Traction is they call it an accountability chart, not an org chart. I think this is really important. This is exactly what we do at Self-Publishing School. So you have a title, you have three things that that person is accountable for. So rather than just a title, and if I'm coming new to the company, I don't know what anyone does, and I also don't know who to go to for what. Now, if I have an accountability chart, I have the three things that that person is accountable for. So whether I'm a new employee or whether I'm an existing employee, it's very, very, very clear who's accountable for what. So at Self-Publishing School, kind of what our org chart looks like is we have a product team, we have a marketing team, we have a sales team, and we have operations and finance. So there's kind of four main branches of the business, and I have someone on the company that leads each branch, and then we have people on the team under those branches. So we've got me as the CEO, and then I have 4 or 5 direct reports that report up to me as part of that, and they're the functional leaders of each department. Now this has evolved over time, right? And in the early days, sales and marketing was on the same team, and we actually for a while didn't have a sales team. So it's important to just keep in mind that this is gonna grow and this is gonna evolve, but what's most important is you have something accurate and you create at least something. So a really great first step to creating an org chart or an accountability chart is to go through and scaling up. They have it's called a functional accountability chart. So what are the functions that you have in the business? And they list out 7 to 9 functions there. And what they have you do is create a who and then a how. So who is responsible for this and what are the KPIs that they're accountable for? This was personally really helpful for me as I started just listing this out. And then we're able to get into the actual org chart, because what's gonna probably happen for you is you're gonna realize either there's confusion around the accountability chart or the functional accountability chart, sorry. So maybe there's confusion around, oh, I actually own that, but no, I own that too. And if multiple people own it, no one owns it, right? So maybe there's confusion around who owns it. But then the second thing is you're gonna probably find that your name, if you're the business owner, is in like 5 different places. So it kind of brings awareness to the fact, oh wow, I need to let go of 1 or 2 of these functional areas of the business. And again, that's a really great first step in moving towards the accountability chart itself. So once you do that, you've started saying, hey, what are the overarching functions? Now we've got an org chart or accountability chart. Now I like to use a Lucid Chart just for me personally. I'm very visual. So what we have is we have pictures on every part of the org chart, and then we also have a job scorecard attached to every single one. Now I've got a separate video on why you should create job scorecards for every role and also how to do that. This is important because if I'm a new employee or an existing employee, I can just click that, see what their job scorecard is. So now I know what success is for them. I also know, oh, this person handles that, this person doesn't handle that, right? So it brings clarity to me, especially in the onboarding process as a new employee. I can just put that org chart up on a screen and they instantly know who's responsible for what. So for your visual learners, this is gonna bring a whole lot of clarity to that. But then the last thing that we do, which I think is a little bit unique, is we have a color coding system. So green means seat filled, right person. Orange means seat filled, wrong person. So maybe I'm temporarily wearing this hat, but I don't want to be in that role long term. Or maybe we know that we don't quite have the leader in this role that we need or something like that. And then gray means seat not filled. And then red means urgent need. So now we're able to see kind of color coded. Again, I'm a visual learner. We're able to look at the org chart and say, oh wow, we've got a lot of urgent needs in student success. Or we've got a lot of urgent needs on the operations team. So now we can prioritize our hiring based on the urgent needs in the org chart. So there you have it. That's how to create an org chart, AKA an accountability chart. Again, two great resources, the book called Traction by Gino Wickman and Scaling Up. Those are two really great resources, step by step. Start maybe by working through that functional accountability chart. Then move into your org chart. What are the big picture things that you have here? What are the 3 KPIs per role? That's gonna come from your job scorecard. Link up the job scorecard and then create it in Lucid Chart if you're a visual person. Now you got an org chart. Now everyone's on the same page, and most importantly, whether you're a startup or an existing business, people know who's responsible for what, right? Now this might change in the future and the org chart is not static, but at least people know what's going on right now. So comment below, let me know what was your biggest takeaway from this video. Do you do org charts differently? If so, I'd love to hear about that. We're always trying to sharpen our process here. So comment below, let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See ya.